Greetings, Inquisitor. I'm glad you found this holocron. This is the week 33 update for the Darth Loquitur account. For any who aren't familiar, I go through a full week's progress, all of the gear, everything I'm doing to the account. Then I go through a little bit of gameplay and the plan going forward, what I'm going to farm for the next week, and a little bit of information on how and why I'm building the account this way. Let's get into it. First things first. We do have a conquest game mode going on right now, and Kenobi is part of the Padme team. And in order to make sure that I can continue to win and do well in conquest, I do need this Kenobi to keep going as far as he can go as fast as I can. So earlier in the week, we take his gear tier up to help get better progress in conquest. And we've got 3 of the gear pieces. This one is one of his Gear 12 finishers, so we're looking at this, but we really can't put this gear onto Kenobi yet, and we're only at 57 out of 100 shards on him, so it'll be a while before he's 7 stars, and we can't really gear him to 12 until we get him to 7 stars. So we're working on it, but we're not going to craft it and lock it in at this point. We might need that gear on some other characters. But we do put the 3 other pieces on him and get him set up. Then we go into ships. Ahsoka's ship has been left behind a little bit on levels. It was never really necessary to level her up, but we do have the Negotiator fleet running now, and she's one of the 3 starting ships, so we're going to finish leveling her up and getting her skills up, just to make her a little tougher and a little better in that starting lineup. She's still going to get killed pretty quickly and easily by most opponents, but this will help make her last just a little longer, so it's good stuff. And we are going to commit to the extra 15% damage on the shutdown. And then we take a look at her abilities here for the reinforcements, but since we're using her right now as one of the starting 3, it's not terribly important that we commit to those reinforcement skills. We do have the clone ship, the Clone Sergeant's ARC 170 that we've been working on. That's one of the reinforcements for our Negotiator fleet, and that we do still need to build up the reinforcement skill to maximum level on. So here we come in, take a look. We haven't tiered up the gear on the Clone Sergeant enough to get his skills up, but we can finish out that reinforcement to the level 3, so we do that. Then going into the account later this week, for this week's Grand Arena lock-in, we're going to go ahead and relic this Veers. The plan has been to relic him for week 33. It is now week 33. And so we are putting the relic onto Veers. We're going to try to take him to relic 5. And as most of you know, I tend to take my characters to relic 5. That's the tier that's needed to get into the Rancor raid. And if I'm already going to be at relic 3, I might as well get them far enough to go ahead and participate in that Rancor raid. It'll also give my trooper teams a little more damage, so nothing wrong with that. Now, in terms of getting these carbonite circuit boards, I'm just going to dump in a bunch of this low-level gear. That stuff only gives us 2 for each piece, so you put in a lot of pieces and you really don't get much of a result. I go down here, I'm loading them up 50 at a time. I try to keep all these different gear pieces over 200 or around 200. I don't want to end up using them all in the scavenger and then end up not being able to gear up my characters until I farm more of that gear. So we're going to go ahead and convert 309 of these circuit boards. That'll be plenty to finish out this relic. So then we click the button to get to relic 4. But unfortunately, we don't have enough of the Erodium heat sinks either. We've only got 8 out of 20. And I did have a few of the Cinar Hollow projectors, but I guess they got used up when I was relicking that Kenobi, or leveling up that Kenobi or something. So we're here with only 1. And we need at least 2 in order to make these Erodium heat sinks. So here I'm looking at how much you get for each individual piece, wondering if it's worth trying to get those other 2, because I'm at 8. So I could get 1 projector here and also 2 others. But at the end of the day, these aren't bad to buy out of the store at 300 each. And for 600 crystals, we could just stay efficient and not worry about it. And these only give 10 credit per scrap. So it's really not worth it. We take it out of the window and we just go put the finished ones in there. That'll give us 20. And it'll keep 8 in the bank. But sooner or later, we'll get some from another source. And that'll be fine. So we just basically paid 600 crystals to get 2 projectors and immediately turned them into scrap to get to relic level 5. That's okay. We've still got 2,000 crystals in this account. Not too bad at all. And then we unfavorite the Veers, and we can leave him down in the bottom now. We're probably not going to work on him again for quite some time. We have a few other characters that could potentially be ready to add a gear tier to. Piet is one of the characters that we really do need to add a gear tier, but he's stuck on Kairos, and that's what we needed also for the relic on Veers, so we couldn't do both. So he's, again, waiting on Kairos. We've got the Sith Marauder down here. That's another one of the requirements for the Sith Eternal Emperor. And it does take a stun gun at this level to put him up a gear tier. So we're considering that. Emperor Palpatine also has all of the pluses green. So this is another character that's good for our team. And it's another requirement for the Sith Eternal Emperor. So we go ahead and push him up 1 gear tier. We check the Marauder. He's still ready to go. We didn't use up any of his critical gear with Palpatine, so we go ahead and give him a gear tier. And lo and behold, we have another gear tier that we can grab right away. So we just go ahead and do that, put him at gear 10. Now for this level, he's going to need 2 of the same item plus this Mark 7 generator. So we need quite a few of those Mark 7 generators. And we do need to bookmark this Clone Sergeant. We're going to need to continue to work on him just a little bit more to get that ship up and running. And he's also a functional 5th character for my Padme team. I've got Ahsoka, Anakin, and Kenobi. And then I really don't like putting Yoda in the team because Yoda is so fragile at this point that he dies very quickly, and it doesn't really help the team very much, either in Squad Arena nor in Conquest. So I'm looking for a character that I can build to be a little bit tougher. And I won't be using this Clone Sergeant for something else, so we can just build him up a little bit and put him on the Padme team as a 5th. And that will help his ship as well as giving us a 5th character. Now, we did get enough toward the end of the week here to put him on 7 stars, so we can finish that up. We'll leave those skills at 6, and that one's not an option to advance until we get more gear tiers on the Clone Sergeant. So pretty much done with that for right now. We do also have the Phoenix up and running, and I haven't done much with the 7-star event for Thrawn. So here we're going to take Zeb to gear 8 and put a couple extra pieces on him that I have plenty of gear, so it doesn't matter. I can put a couple pieces on him. But gear 8 plus 2 pieces, pretty much all my Phoenix are gear 8. I think I do have a gear 7 Kanan still. So not too high of a level team, but we're going to take it in here and see if we can get that done. You can see my Hera has very low health. She's probably the weakest link on the team right now. But we're going to give it a try. So we go in here and get to the final level. We really need to kill these Death Troopers first, but we just don't have enough damage. So then we go out and we give it another try, see if we can get some better RNG in that last combat. And so here we go, doing a bunch of basics to finish out the 3rd tier. Then we get into the 4th tier. We get a little better RNG here. We get on the Death Trooper sooner. We're able to clear off the debuff, I believe, on this Stormtrooper. Come on, guys. Passing it over. There we clear it off. Here we get on to the Death Trooper and doing pretty good damage to him. You know, taunting. We lost our Hera Syndulla, but we're sticking with it. to see what we can do here. And now we're going to try to get this other Death Trooper dead. And we're getting there. We've only got 3 characters left, but we're managing to get through. So here we go. We got down to the last 3 characters, but that was as far as we could get. So our plans are foiled, and we're not getting the 7-star Thrawn quite yet. Close though. We just need more damage. If I could get a little more on Harrison Dula and potentially take Ezra Bridger up 1 more gear tier, then we should be able to close out that Thrawn event. So week 33, our Galactic Power is at 1355, which is exactly 30,000 from last week. We got our 7th Relic. We still have 14 Zetas. Padme team is a top 200 team right now. With the advancements to Kenobi, I'm holding a high top 200. I'm getting like 134, 112, something like that. I can't seem to break into the top 100. But that's okay. We'll take top 200 for now. We're not going to push that too hard. We do plan to Relic Kenobi at some point, and then we may get back up into that top 100. Tarkin and the Geo fleet is definitely top 5. Pretty much getting 1st or 2nd place with them every day. The next project that we're going to work on, we're going to look to Relic Dooku in week 36. He's another one of the requirements for the Sith Eternal Emperor. We do have to take him to Relic 6, so we'll need to invest some time, effort, and energy, not only in getting his Gear 13, but getting enough materials to make sure that we can get him all the way to the required Relic level. In the next week, what I plan to farm, it'll be Queel, Piet, Krennic, and Django. And we are going to have to farm up some of these Mark 7 shield generators. We got several characters that need that, including Dooku. So we'll have to farm that up for the next week. In Fleet, we're doing Nest and Scion. And we're going to do some Mark 3 holo projectors over there, again, to feed the Scavenger. And we also are taking Grief Karga on some days when we have enough energy. We're still trying to get Grief Karga to 7 stars, kind of in the background. In Cantina, we'll continue to farm signal data. In Mod Energy, I'm splitting between Speed and Tenacity. The refreshes that I'm getting now with those high placement in Fleet, I do 2 Mod, 3 Energy, 2 Fleet, and 2 Cantina every day. For Squad Arena Store, we're going to continue to buy Prestige once a day. And we're also going to start picking up some of those Sidious shards. Eventually, we will need him also for the Sith Eternal Emperor. Fleet Store, we're still trying to get Grievous. Rex's Arc 170 when it shows up. And the rest I'm basically just using to buy Zeta pieces. When my total currency in that shop is up around 5,000, I buy a Zeta piece and knock it back down. Everything else is going into the Shard Store for currency over there to continue to buy gear pieces and relic materials. This week I want to talk a little bit about Galactic Power control, because some things have changed, and it's a bit interesting to think about where this is going to end up going over the course of the next few weeks. So right now I'm in Division 10, and my Galactic Power is 1.355, and I'm fighting against people that are all the way at the top of the Galactic Power. So I'm fighting against 1.6 teams and people that are over 1.6 that are at like 1.7. So with the way that my account's built, it doesn't surprise me that I'm generally fighting up on Galactic Power. But what I'm thinking about, when I finally do join Division 9, it's going to push me up even further. And then I could be looking at, being 1.7 million Galactic Power or wherever I'm at when I get into that division. And I will probably be playing up against the top level of that division as well. And that jump from 1.6 million to 2.3 million, that 700,000 is a huge gap. It's almost half of your Galactic Power while you're at 1.6. So if I come in at the bottom of that division and already have to fight up toward the top of the division, it could be pretty scary. It could also mean that I'll be fighting against people with Galactic Legend rushes. So if you rush the SLKR, you end up around 2.2 million Galactic Power if you've been very efficient. So it's possible to have either SLKR or C under that 2.3 million Galactic Power cap. And I really don't want to end up at like 1.7 and facing people with those teams. But in order to fight up like that, what I'm going to have to do is not start a lot of new projects. I'm going to have to continue to relic characters that are on the same teams that I have right now. And that way, if I do face a Galactic Legend and my opponent puts it on defense, I'll just put most of everything I have on defense and try to basically give him a one-zone win, and he can take out what's in front of fleet, and maybe won't even be able to beat my fleet. So I'll focus on, building up the fleet and building up what I've already got in my inventory. And then, I may have to look at it as we get closer. It could be about 10 weeks out. So if I put on 30K per week, it'll still take another 10 weeks before I get to Division 9. So I may play 2 or possibly 3 more GAC rounds in Division 10 before I'll qualify to move up. But then I think when I move up, I want to push in, from 1.59 or whatever's the cap underneath. And I'm probably going to want to have some gear saved up and kind of, blow up into the next gear tier and end up about 2 million by the time I'm actually in Division 9. So just trying to think out how I'm going to do that. I've got plenty of time to plan it out. But I think the moral of the story is I have to be real cautious with starting new teams. I really was thinking about bringing along that Cassian's U-Wing team with Jyn Erso and K2SO and those guys. But that would give me another low-level team without high-end Galactic Power to support beating a Galactic Legend rush. So thinking about how to build the account. We'll see how it all works out. But, at least 2 more rounds, another 5v5, and probably at least 1 more 3v3 in Division 10. That wraps up the update for the week. Please, everybody, remember to use your like saber. Kill that like button, smash it, crush it, whatever you got to do. Helps me, helps the channel. Leave a comment down below if there's anything you have to say about the update, the account, any information that you guys want to hear in these updates that's different than what I'm already doing. Just let me know. Drop a line and we'll see if we can help you out. Thank you all for your time. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and you want to see more videos like this in the future. Join our Discord if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next Holocron.